to drink and see Hulk Hogan. I'm like, this is a little gay. Okay? Just being honest. Okay? Now, for those who don't know, I'm happily married. My best friend is my wife. I've said time and time again, if I'm going to spend more time with someone, it's going to be my wife. It's not going to be PPP spending time at Hogan's bar in Florida, brother. So I very respectfully declined and said, maybe if it were 10 years ago, this is something I would have been interested in, but I'm tied down and rooted in Washington. And I couldn't in good conscience go on a trip without my wife because I want to spend time with her. So what he says is, I would pay for her to come too. And we'll set up Jasper with a sitter. No pressure. I know it's a lot of, again, the health issues, with my wife that we had mentioned and stuff like that. And then he says, oh, I want to get you guys out of the house and something that the detractors can suck a cock forever. That's not true. A moment ago, you just said you wanted to fly me down and spend time at the bar. Now all of a sudden, it turns into, oh, well, now I want to fly you and her out because I want to get you out of the house to basically spite the detractors. That's not what it was. What happened is he got embarrassed because he saw that I declined and said, nah, dude, it's not like that. I don't like you like that. I got a wife, And he's like, oh, shit, let me spin it now that, oh, it was actually, his wife and his family, all right? Ridiculous. So anyway, again, I would put you up at the Hilton by the beach, and then he says, I feel bad for pressuring you, and I say, it's all good, right? It's just so bizarre. So he basically 100% thought that everything that I ever told him was genuine when most of it was bullshit, okay? And quite frankly, that was one of the most embarrassing moments because he actually thought that I was a close personal confidant of him when I really hadn't told him anything that was anything secret whatsoever. None of it was real. It was all bullshit. That's what I mean. All this week, every time that they're doing Kino Casino, they're like, here's something, a big revelation. Phil has a rabbit that died. Phil's wife was sick and she found religion. I'm like, it's every lie I've told him to get his confidence over the last 8 months, and he's spewing them out to the internet like there's some big deal. The truth is, even if they were true, that's still fucked up. That's supposed to be private, personal shit that you never would have to tell anyone, but yet you're doing it anyway, even if it were true. Now, it's not, but even if it were, man, that's fucked up. But the thing is, his audience is so dumb and stunted that they think that that's oh, he's saying he's spilling the tea. This is exciting. It's not. It's fucked. If you had said something to someone in confidence like that, would you think that they would go out and publicly say something about it later just because they broke off a business relationship with you? And by the way, we're definitely going to look at that, all right? Because I absolutely know that you guys want to see how it broke off and how it ended and how unhinged PPP became at the end, okay? Let's continue because we got more, all right? You know what? We really haven't done anything with Andy. We haven't. So I feel like we should do a little bit. To be honest, I know Andy apparently doesn't like me, but I've barely talked with the guy, so I just don't know him that well. And I don't know if everything he's ever said is a sham or a ruse. I don't know if he just goes with everything that PPP tells him. All right. Very well, it could be that he just goes with every single thing that PPP tells him. He's a pushover. All right. I don't know. But, we're in a situation here where I barely ever spoke with the man. And so it's very odd to me that we had people saying stuff like he's your gaming soulmate and shit like that. But I mean, if anything, when I talk to him, he would be afraid of stuff. Like, for example, in this case, right after we had done the first appearance, all of a sudden their clips channel put up a clip of me on the channel. And Andy was legit terrified that I was going to see that and think that they were snaking me already. And he didn't want this initial relationship to end. And he kind of reached out to me apologizing profusely for that. Oh, sorry, that was a mistake. Right. And then we were talking about gaming collabs. This is another thing. We keep talking about every once in a while games and gaming collabs and things like that, but they never happen. And again, I don't know if that was just a case where they thought that gaming collabs would not work on their channel. I think the Chain Together collab worked well. I think the only reason that the Black Ops Zombies collab that we did on Halloween didn't work so well is because that game doesn't really allow you to interact that well because you got to kill zillions of zombies. And also I was drinking and we were all tired I was doing a marathon, so it's not going to work as well. If you did a different kind of game, there's tons of games out there that we could have done, but it was always, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We never did it. Instead, it was, can we do this drama, this piece of shit drama? And none of them ever worked. So that's why stuff fell apart. So when Andy's coke allegations resurfaced, 100%, I reached out to him to be nice to him again, just pushing forward the ruse that I'm their friend and I've got their back. As Review Tech said, simping for them, saying, don't worry, I've got your back. I got my own detractors, stuff like that. Okay. Then there was the pedo arc where apparently it was leaked that these guys had gone on a vacation to Vegas, and in that vacation to Vegas, the person who had financed the entire vacation was one of their followers, and he was a pedophile, and he had been outed. So now it's like, dude, you just took $100,000 from a pedophile to go to Vegas or whatever. And I didn't know anything about it, but all of a sudden, Andy starts hurriedly sending me all this stuff about this. See? Your detractors in RTU are trying to say I'm a pedo and snorts through video. Here's the deal. I'm at the end of RTU accusing me he watches the video and exposes it was all bullshit. Everyone's trying to sweep that. Mr. Medicare made an entire video explaining it's all. Like, why would I care about this? He's really setting me to this like it's important. And I'm like, I don't care. But he's he's so terrified. You know what I'm saying? That this is going to actually, like, resurface. Let's see here. Where's the one? Oh, I forgot about this. All right. Here we go. So after he had brought up the coke allegations, all right, he says, I've been sober since November 10th, 2023 to bring up my past addictions to try and make you hate me. Said, I believe you. Even if you weren't sober, I'm reading it because I know my camera's blocking it. Even if you weren't sober, it would be none of my business regardless. Why would I care? They're stupid like my own detractors. And he says, yeah, exactly. If I wasn't and I ran a good show, wouldn't that be impressive if I was doing coke and putting on a good show? Wait, what? Did you hear what he just said? He just said, hey, if I am still doing coke, isn't that fine because I'm still putting on a good show? Oops. You probably shouldn't have said that. But, you know, then, of course, he did say, I will be fair here. But I'm not, so thanks, man. But, I mean, that's pretty crazy that he just said that. Oh, if I'm doing coke and I'm running a good show, it's fine anyway. Oh, but I'm not on coke, by the way. Like, anyway. So the last thing, I mean, there's tons here to go into, but I know I only have probably about an hour left that I want to really bother with this shit. So, basically, the one final thing that I'll say about Andy, all right? This, I don't understand. I'm completely confused. I have no idea what this is in relation to, but this one threw me for a loop to the point where I was shaking my head and scratching my head, all right? It's Valentine's Day, okay? It's literally the middle of the afternoon on Valentine's Day. Keep in mind, again, I don't talk to this guy a lot. The logs that I have with him are 100 kilobytes. The logs I have with PPP are over a megabyte, so it's 10 times more. I talk to PPP than him, okay? Well, yo, why'd you unfollow me? I hope you're well anyways, dude. Keep well, brother. Huh? And I responded later on in the day when I just happened to open this. What, you mean here on X? I didn't unfollow you, Andy. I don't think I ever followed you here, laughing out loud. I do follow your Casino Clips channel to get caught up from time to time. I've been busy, but I don't watch your show. I've been, haven't watched it in ages. Oh, okay, based. Huh? He had time in the middle of Valentine's Day, out of nowhere in the afternoon, to message me and ask me why I unfollowed him on X when I never had followed him on X. Sure, bro. So, pretty weird. No, I don't know. We got PPP offering to fly me out to Florida to go to Hogan's bar and have drinks with him. Kind of gay. Kind of weird. All we have is a business relationship. Why are you bringing this shit up? Why would you? It doesn't make sense. Then he tries to, like, backtrack and cover it up. I say, oh, I'll fly your wife out there too. Like, no, we're not doing that. All right. And we got Worski coming out of here on Valentine's Day asking me why I've unfollowed him on X when I never followed him on X. Why is he checking to see who's following him on X? What prompted him to do this? I have no idea. It's very fucking weird. Okay? I don't know. All right. Continuing on, because there's still so much more. Just FYI, all right, I just want to bring this up and be very transparent about it, okay? The one thing that kept coming up over and over and over was Mr. Medicare, all right? Now, I don't know anything about Mr. Medicare, all right, at all. I don't know anything about Mr. Medicare. I don't know why they wanted me to do content with Mr. Medicare, but it was their idea from the get-go that I would actually be doing content with Medicare, that I should keep reaching out to Medicare, that he should be on the show, or I should do a show with him. Even if they can't do it, I should just do a show with him individually. And it was like, so the guy's sick, all right? From all reports, the guy's in freaking hospice care, all right? Why would he want to do content with me? So I don't know anything about him, right? And they're insisting you should keep trying. Don't give up. Wait a few months. Try again. This will be the biggest thing ever. And the only thing that I can read out of all of this is that these guys, or at least PPP, all right, idolize Medicare so much. Like he's their daddy. He's their idol. They really wish that they could be Medicare. Like, they really wish they could be Keemstar, but they don't like Keemstar. They don't like the way he operates. They don't like Lolcow Live. They wish they could have their own Lolcow universe. But when it comes to Medicare, he is their absolute end-all, be-all guy, right? 100%. They love this fucking guy. They want him to be with them in their content. They want him to praise them. And it's just absolute craziness, the amount of times that they would keep bringing him up. Medicare's back. He's able to do stuff. He's streaming on Halloween. Again, I'm not bringing it up. They are. And I keep seeing they. It's actually Ashton, PPP, who keeps bringing up Medicare constantly. All right? Seems he's avoiding engaging in a way. Maybe he's saying this. He did a Halloween show. Maybe it's all our involvement that's holding it up. So maybe try to do it directly. Again, you should try to do stuff directly, right? Say he should give a Christmas gift to the internet by coming on the Level 1 podcast next Tuesday. So yeah, no lie. Every single time that I had anything to do with Medicare, I brought him up, I reacted to his documentary, all this shit was because PPP told me to or was egging me on and said, this will become great content, you need to do it. In reality, I don't care about Mr. Medicare at all. I have no ill will towards him, but I also don't like him. I just kind of neutral, don't give a shit. All right, so whatever. Let him be, right? Let him be. But they kept bringing him, I say they, PPP kept bringing him up constantly. The only way to get to talk to Medicare is public appeals. His DMs are closed. If you offer a specific date, week or two from now, it might put on enough public pressure. I think he wants control over the situation. This is a big dream crossover. I would like it to happen. So again, he's got me reaching out, saying Medicare's name, bothering Medicare constantly to try to do this content, and I don't care. I don't want anything to do with this, but I'm doing it because, again, I'm trying to stay in their good graces, make them feel like I'm their friend, all right? And I feel bad. I legit feel bad that, sadly, Medicare might have actually gotten bothered by this if he really is sick, you know, and he's having all these issues, all right? So I just don't want anything to do, you know what I'm saying? I don't, okay? All right. So, went through all of that. We're almost done. Basically, what I think I want to do to end, all right, is to explain how it finally fell apart and all of that, okay? So, oh, by the way, FYI, should I give you guys the links now? Or, you know what? No, I'll do my final segment, and then I'll give you guys the links, and then you can feel free to go through all of this. No, guys, I know people are saying bring on Ethan, Ralph. I'm almost done with this, all right? I'm going to be basically going for like another half an hour. I just want to explain the end of this and why I ended it. And I want to show you how PPP has behaved since, because he's become completely unhinged, which is why he's doing what he's doing and why I'm doing this, okay? So this is it. This will be the end, right, like this last segment, and then I'm going to give you guys the links, and you can feel free to go through them yourself, and you can enjoy, because, again, this is all something that I had orchestrated since the beginning, and they bought it hook, line, and sinker, all right? Which, by the way, you guys don't even realize something, but I'm going to bring it up in a second, all right? Which is actually the culmination of all of it that just happened to happen today. Okay. So, lastly, why did it all fall apart, all right? Why did this all start happening, okay? So, basically, after I did that show with Steve Cambion, all right? And the fact that this show was meant to set me up. It's obvious. Up to then, these guys had kind of been transparent about everything, and I kind of felt like here's the deal. If you really look over the whole history of what I did with these guys, the initial meeting where I did the first show with them, the react to the Review Tech USA documentary, right? And, of course, me going and doing that Josh Moon interview, I would say were all gold, and that was a month of good stuff, right? That was amazing. But after that, literally everything these guys came up with canceled because they have no fucking clout. Mudahar cancels and ghosts them and doesn't talk to them anymore. It's a Gundam, which they claim is going to be the slam fucking dunk of content. Cancels, won't do it, bitches out, and then they destroy him behind the scenes, calling him a pussy, saying that, big talker, but he won't do any content. He'll only do content when it's shooting fish in a barrel. He'll never do an honest show with anyone, okay? Medicare, Medicare will be the best, the big one, the big win. Can't get him, can't get him, can't get him. All right, you try by yourself. That doesn't work. So every idea they're coming up with, awful, 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 none of them work. The few little pieces of content that we're trying to do, for example, when we did the Zombies co-op, it doesn't explode or do much, right? So what am I left to do? Actually, to be honest, at the beginning of this year, I was probably going to cut off contact with them at that point because I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it anymore. But I was trying to figure out the way out. Or I wanted to do it in a way that made sense. And basically, we were starting up Smart Guys, and I was like, you know what? Let's figure this out together. Let's do Smart Guys and see how it goes. And if the show does well, all right, then we'll keep going for a while, and I'll play it by ear. But if the show tanks and doesn't do well, then instead I'll cut off with these guys and we'll be done. All right. So this long con started off great. I get a giant surge of views and support, and it dies out within just a few months. And I'm like, these guys, I thought that they were big shit. They're not. These guys are pretenders. They get hyped because they shit on others, but they don't actually have the clout or connections to really make the content that they think they do. They want to be Keemstar, but they're not. They hate Keemstar because they can't be Keemstar. All right? It's just ridiculous. So maybe I did get into bed with the wrong snakes. Here, I thought I was the king snake, and I was going to eat them up, but these guys aren't doing anything for me at this point. Like, nothing's working anymore, right? So what the hell? What a waste of time, okay? So after the Steve interview, when essentially that went so poorly, and it went poorly for everyone. Steve looked like an asshole because he kept yelling over me. It wasn't a good interview. Nothing new was actually revealed during the interview at all. It was just the same detractor shit. And all that happened is the detractors threw money over at Steve, all right? Which is exactly what happened with Side Scroller. It's the same as the Side Scroller shtick. So there's nothing surprising here. It's just exactly what we all expected, correct? Okay. So all of a sudden, I start noticing that PPP is now starting to insult me and saying like snide remarks and comments. Now, he's been doing it all along on his show, but it seems like it's starting to escalate. All right? It starts like it's starting to escalate badly. Like on the show, the Grill Phil segments, which used to be like 20 minutes, are now becoming an hour. And it's not even interesting. It's not even paying off. The Grill Phil, which is, again, this is Ashton's idea. Let's grill Phil on Smart Guys for a whole hour. It's not getting us views. It's not getting us support. It's not getting us anything. All it's doing is wasting all of our time and killing our momentum, because in reality, people are coming to Smart Guys to watch wrestling commentary, not see me get grilled. He thinks they are, but they never did. They never came there and supported because of that at all. Okay? So, this is basically where things start to fall apart. All right? And basically, and again, you're going to see when you read through the logs, which all of you will, me saying things, about my family members and stuff. He wants, we're talking about flying places. I say I can't fly because I don't have a real ID. My mom is sick and all this stuff. But again, it's the same shtick, the same spiel, just trying to continue on to get out of doing the shit I don't want to do because it's dumb shit that he keeps bringing up, okay? So basically I said to PPP, all right, are you snaking me on Tuesday with Steve and you got your dates wrong? There's tons of people in my chat saying Steve will come on the casino on Tuesday, but that's when we do Smart Guys, so I have no idea what's going on. In my opinion, I'd be hurt if this were the case, but not surprised. And again, you guys have done so much for me. I move on and ignore it all, but it would be nice to know if we're actually doing our show. So even thinking that after the Steve show, which was a snaking, that PPP might snake me again, all right? PPP says, no, he's screaming, right? From the beginning, we presented you as a big deal. You're a legend from the past. I'll give you a massive audience in a new way. Helped you make thousands shitting on RTU. You're able to get a whole brand new setup. You became too stuck in your ways when it came to being partisan in politics and not wanting to do drama and wanted to do it your way still, and you never grabbed that brass ring. You let oppression slip with bad performances on the casino and doing the same old content on your show. It wasn't appealing to a broader audience. I went for fun because I like you decided to take a day out of my week to do wrestling with you, and several times let you keep the penny. But that's a few times he did let me keep all the money on the show, and I always told you guys that too. I can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink. You said you would have been okay with Steve doing a pressing interview like this, and you would have agreed to it, but your reaction today has proved anything but. It's false. My reaction was, you should have told me exactly what Steve was going to talk about, and that it was going to be a detractor interview, because then we could have made it good. Because you didn't. It sucked. It didn't benefit me. All he's going to do is get detractor dollars, and this is lame. We could have done more with it if you were transparent with me, but you snaked me on it. Why weren't you transparent? Okay? So he's still going. I would like you for your content to be interesting, for people to watch it. Ultimately, your content to sit in a slowly dwindling audience. And you're praying to God for a new whale to fall from the sky. All right? So, now, because you did a favor for the other guy on my team that doesn't impact you in any real way other than you provide your spiral and lash out, that's disappointing. Go ahead, be a victim and make us out to be whatever you want. But I did try. And then I apologized and said, all right, I don't think you're going to snake me. Okay? And then he didn't. All right? But the truth is, let me find it now. I already told you, the idea was that he wanted to build up Steve as some kind of a supervillain character, that we were going to play games and go back and forth and insulting each other. Super boring. Who the hell was going to care, and who was going to believe that? No one. No one was going to believe that. That was so unbelievably dumb. Like he was going to be like evil Neo, and I was supposed to be the hero facing off against evil Neo, but all the detractors throw him money because he's felting me on his show or whatever. It's awful. All right? It really is. It's like grade school level shit. It's something you would see on Nickelodeon. It's not something that you would expect for content on the internet that's going to be popular. Everyone would have cringed. So at this point, I'm like, dude, I gotta find a way to get out of here. Really, like I have to get out of this situation at this point. Okay? So I said, so here we go. Opinions on the last Smart Guys are split. Of course, it's doing incredibly well. Once you find the proper balance, it'll work. But we need to shorten the show. I need to know the topics of Grill Phil earlier so I can prepare, and the show will go better. And here we go. You laughing at the joke of my wife looking like Piper Niven was not cool, even if it wasn't intentional. I'm not trying to cause problems, but next time I'm going to say something and it's going to be uncomfortable, I have more than enough shit going on and you know that. All right? So I do confront him about him saying shit about my wife. Because this was actually the first time he had ever done it in front of my face. Up to now, the only time he had ever said something about my wife, okay, was actually on his content. So I wasn't even aware. People would send me clips. People would say, are you aware he's insulting you here, there, left, and right? And I'd be like, no. But then again, I'm not really paying attention. I'm not watching the casino every day. I have no intention of watching the casino every day. I don't want to be involved in that, right? But then he's sneak dissing me and my wife there, and then he's doing it on Smart Guys, right? So he says, let's take it back to the basics of wrestling. Okay? This is the rabbit conversation, which you guys are going to find, which is all bullshit. I needed to delay Smart Guys. I didn't want to do it that night, so I just made something up, but he believes it because he's, gullible. Now, here we go. This is last week, and this is when the crap all hit the fan. All right? FYI, trolls went crazy hard on my stream today, bombarding me with messages saying that you called me a lazy POS on a casino last night. You called my wife fat and more. I ignored it, but that's apparently their narrative now. Then he says, oh, I'm sorry. I was doing that routine. I honestly think you should take a few days to recuperate and have some stiff drinks and watch shows with your wife. Everyone can see you're having a great, tough time right now. I feel badly to be affecting you in any way. I'm going to lay off with the smart-ass stuff. Try to rest up. Things will get better. I'm worried about you, so take care of yourself. Have some weed. And I'm only partly kidding. All right? And I said it right here. I accept your answer, but I told you I had an issue with you making fun of Kat on Smart Guy, so why are you doing this on your show? I'm trying to understand it. I have a friend of full alike now telling me to sever ties with you because you're not my friend and you're using me. And what does he say? It makes sense if I find something funny to say, I'm going to say it. I find what is taboo, boundary pushing to be funny and shocking in a way. All right? So I feel bad that, you're going through any hard times. I like to push buttons anyway. I went too far this week. I wasn't treating you like a person, more like content, and I'm very sorry for that. So again, he's apologizing. But what's the point of apologizing if you do it anyway? When you're apologizing for something, but then you're doing it anyway, it doesn't matter. You've already done it again and again. Your apology is invalid if you keep doing the bad thing. So at this point, I know that his apologies don't mean anything either. So what does he say? I want to make it clear, if you do want to cut ties, I completely understand, and I think that you'll do well no matter what. It was at that moment that I decided I'm going to cut ties with this guy. All right? He's apologizing, saying he's sorry for what he did, but basically he cannot control himself. Okay? So you can cut ties and we're all good. All right? So I said, that's pretty much what I thought you were going to say. I have thick skin. I get it. Now people are 100% thinking that you're using me. I don't know what we're going to do moving forward, basically. We need boundaries. And he says, I happen to like that there's different ways to interpret what's going on, and there's not very straightforward. I think people get invested. I see that you're crashing out. Now, this was the next day's podcast. This was the podcast I did last week where I said I have 3 options. Option 1 is being a sellout. Option 2 is being a massive drama queen villain for the internet like PPP wants me to be. Or number 3 is to go the third route and go straight down the middle. All right? He thinks that's crashing out because I don't want to do path 2. Little does he know that all along, this whole thing has been a setup. I've lied to him for 8 straight months about all this shit. I'm only going along for the ride because essentially I wanted to get more views and money and give myself a boost. I don't really like him. I think he's kind of disturbing. Yeah, he doesn't get it. So, yeah, anyway, he thinks I'm crashing out. So I said, crashing out means I want my wife to be treated with respect. There's no way I can justify or defend your insulting cat for no reason, even if it's getting a rise out of your audience, right? You've apologized to me for it, so either you know it's wrong or you've been disingenuous, right? I advise taking some time off. You're kind of seething and lashing out in all directions. You'll just never understand that you don't have to respond to everything and see. I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. All right. Then I looked at his Twitter, and this was on his Twitter. It's a fact. I'm not sure why there's so much hostility surrounding observing reality. So basically saying it's okay to insult your wife. It's just okay to insult your wife. Okay? It's fine. I can just do whatever I want. I can just insult your wife as much as I want. All right? Okay? So I said, here's the thing. Way back, a month before, when I had done the podcast, or the show, the interview with Steve, I was told both by PPP and Steve, because you did that and you took a giant beating, and now Steve took all this money from your dumb detractors who are so stupid that they throw money at Steve, okay? We're now going to say we owe you a favor. So whatever you need moving forward, you need that favor. You'll find that in the logs, okay? Because I'm going to put them out there. You're going to see it, all right? Well, here we are, and I say, you know what you could have done? You could have just said that you owed me a favor, all right? That's all you had to say. And that because of that, you're not going to insult Kat anymore because you owe me a big favor, right? And I said, right here, I hope it's not here. People in my kick chat are saying you've insulted Cat again. This was the last Wednesday, so their second show of the week. I really hope that's not true. I'm going to go to sleep. I feel like shit after this week of stuff. I'm sure I'll be bombarded with clips in the morning if this is true. I wake up in the morning, and here's what I have. I owe you nothing, you fucking F-word. And it'll be a cold day in hell before I'm scared of you. Why don't you bring me on tonight and see how it goes? You really wanted to flex nuts. I'm so sick of your shit. You threw everything I did in my face yesterday with the third path lazy bullshit. You have no gratitude for anything. The whole big dog routine, and you're thinking you're going to break me and run the yard? I will fucking show you whose yard it is. You escalated this, and I want a scorched earth drama campaign. I can give you that in spades. Okay? I have no idea what he's talking about. Literally, I did one podcast where I talked about I have 3 paths. And the next podcast, I said, if this guy insults my wife again, I'm breaking ties and I'm not making content with him anymore because I don't have to continue to do smart guys if this guy's going to insult my wife. I said it's all right if he goes ahead and insults me, but he's not allowed to insult my wife. That's all I said. All of a sudden, I'm the big dog who's thinking he's going to break him and run the yard. What is he talking about? So I said, there's no drama. If you scorch the earth, you're just doing it to make yourself feel better. You're talking to yourself because you have nothing. I have nothing to say in response. As you said before, it's all the same shit over and over. The same detractor shit is all they're going to say. Okay? I have nothing else to say. On my end, it's done. This is 100% you're doing, not mine. All you had to do was be reasonable and have respect, but you couldn't do it. I think that's sad. Smart Guys was great. What we did together was great, but you can't control yourself. All right? And this is it. This is where I was going to cut it off. This was literally going to be the last time I ever had any interaction with them. I was just going to go on and do absolutely nothing to do with them whatsoever. I wasn't going to snake them publicly. I wasn't going to do this show today at all. The whole idea of this show was that I have to respond because these guys are literally just going to keep doing stuff no matter what. So I have to at least do something. And if anything, if the one thing is that I drop the logs, so therefore they can't make shit up and spin the logs in a way that they're not, or say, hey, look, here's an edited log to protect us, but here's the part that makes Phil look bad or whatever. So right now I'm about to dump them so you guys can read them in their entirety, all right? Unedited. You can see them, all right? But here's his responses. His completely unhinged, insane, over-the-top, crazy responses. Get a fucking grip, Phil. This isn't about your wife or my comments. It's about you being a stubborn, lazy, stuck in your ways, word I can't say, who doesn't like getting confronted about your bullshit. You cry victim and throw pity parties to get out of being held accountable, even making the slightest effort out of your own comfort zone to do anything else because you're using this shit to try and have an out, and you can pretend that you're everyone else, blah, 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 blah. And he keeps going. You have no respect. You flush every opportunity. You show me in my efforts zero respect. I try to extend my respect to you. You know my tweets are right. By the way, why don't you respond to them? You're a coward. You have been your entire life. You can hide in your hug box, but one day there won't be anyone. He's talking to himself. I'm not reading it. I'm not paying any attention. This is like your ex-girlfriend says it's okay to break up with her if you're not okay with her abusing you. And you're like, all right, I break up with you. And then she freaks out and goes crazy and is stalking you and is going to all your friends and relatives and the public talking shit about you and saying awful things. I'm going to reveal this personal thing about you and this personal thing. How dare you break up with me? How could you break up with me? You can't break up with me. I break up with you and I'm not done with you yet. So how could you? That's exactly what it is. So now it makes sense. Him offering to fly me to Florida and then acting like this when I said, I just don't want to do any more content with you. Okay? And he gave me permission to break it off. Just a few logs ago, he said, I understand if this is your decision that you don't want to do content with me anymore. Go ahead. So I said, okay, I made my decision. How dare you? How could you break up with me? I can't believe it. And he's still going. Look, he's still going. We're not done yet. You know my tweets are right. I didn't read his tweets. I'm not sitting on his Twitter reading his tweets. I don't give a fuck what he tweets, right? He's still going. Here's what I'll say to you in the end, because this is later. This is days later. I don't want to have to do what I'm doing because this is after the first show on Friday where he had talked shit and exposed secrets about my life. It doesn't feel good to dump all this on you, but you've endlessly escalated the situation. When did I endlessly escalate the situation? All I did was say, you're insulting my wife. I don't want to do combat with or content with you anymore. We're done. That was it. You've been incredibly petty and disrespectful. Never happened. I genuinely want you to apologize for wasting my efforts and let everyone know that it's the case. So let me get this straight. And he says, if you do that, I will drop the entire thing and move on. This is the guy who literally apologized for insulting me and my wife, but then did it again anyway. I called him out on it, and he said, I can't really control myself, but I understand if you don't want to do content anymore. It's okay. I tell him, I don't want to do content anymore. And now he says, I need to publicly apologize for wasting his efforts. You told me to break it off if I wasn't okay with the insults. Why now do I have to publicly apologize? For what? Are you insane? It really is like an obsessed girlfriend. It's insanity. I don't know why he sent me this. Because he knows I'm not going to do a public apology when I didn't do anything wrong. Okay? And then we're not even done. He does it again. Listen, there's still an opportunity to end things in an amicable fashion. Don't allow pride to stop you from making the decision that's best for you. And then for the record, he texted me again Monday and says, there's no need for you to ever contact me ever again. You made your decision and it's shameful. That was his last actual text that he ever sent me, right? So, I mean, just think about how insane this is. The last thing I said to him was, there's no drama. You're just going to do the same shit everyone else does, all my detractors. I don't care, right? I'm going to ignore you and move on with my life. He sends me an insane amount of crazy, insulting messages, calling me the F word, demanding that I have to apologize when I didn't do anything, right? I actually did what he asked me to do, break it off if I'm not okay with the abuse. But the best part about all of it is, folks, I was never going to stay with him as a friend, as a co-worker, regardless. It was only temporary until eventually I feel like we were going to actually, do something great, and if it wasn't nothing great, then we're done. All right, that was the whole plan. I was never actually friends with PPP or Andy at all. For me, it was always a business relationship, but I had to perpetuate the lie because these guys have such a bad reputation. They have so much bad stuff going on for them on the internet that if I don't go to bat for them, then people will be like, what are you doing? Why are you associating with this bad guy, this doing this and that? I had to give them all these lies to keep them going so they would stop, all right? They would stop doing the bullshit with, maybe they would think that I wasn't being truthful or I was actually fucking with them, unless what you got to do is you have to give a little, just a little truth, and then a big lie attached to it, and then they buy it hook, line, and sinker, right? Was my wife sick last year? She was for a little bit. She's not anymore. None of that's going on. But you attach that little bit of truth, and then they'll believe you. So I cased these guys 100%, okay? Seriously, 100%. This was my doing. I sought them out. I messaged them. I'm the one who had the idea for the Review Tech React and made it happen, not them. And then after that, it was continuous failure after failure on their behalf. They couldn't get Mutahar. They couldn't get It's a Gundam. They couldn't get Medicare. They couldn't do anything. It was just, appear on our show and talk shit about Ralph. Who fucking cares about talking shit about Ralph? No one. It's boring. Do something that's particular that will make sense, that you're finally involving me. Not this boring shit. They're not creative. They couldn't come up with ideas that would work. And then they would blame me. Dude, I'm the person who I am. Now, the only way that they could make stuff work is if I changed who I was. If I completely and utterly became the internet drama guy. All right? And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the internet drama guy. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to change who I am. I want to play games. I want to hang out with my audience. But I realize that I'm already in this with these guys, and I got to find a way out. So I bide my time. I wait. We're doing smart guys. I'm going to find a way out eventually. And they don't have anything on me. Literally, they have a bunch of fucking lies that I fed them for 8 months. Big deal if they throw it out on the internet. All it does is make them look like shit for sharing my private stuff, which isn't even fucking true. So who cares, right? So you saw what happened at the end there. That's PPP. He's unhinged. He's obsessed with me. He's in love with me. He thinks that I'm his fucking boyfriend or girlfriend. He's treating me like I jilted him at the altar, even though he said it was okay to break it off if I don't want to be disrespected. He's freaking out. He's sending crazy texts to me, threatening me. He wants a public apology. He's insane. He's nuts. He's lonely as fuck. He has no friends, no one who will spend time with him, no one who will do wrestling with him. He wants me to fly to Hogan's bar to have some drinks. That's pretty fucking gay. Okay? So, it's all done right now. I'm not having any more association with these guys, all right? And one final thing, because Moon Knight did say, what took you so long? If this was going down last week, why didn't you publicly talk about it last week? Because I had, number one, I wanted to see if they were really going to escalate it and do shit, and I didn't know they were going to do that until Friday when they did it on the show. And I was like, maybe they'll do one show. Oh, no, they're going to continue this. So for those who don't know, to export your content from X, these logs, takes over 24 hours to actually get the logs exported, all right? It takes over 24 hours. You have to put in the log, the request, then they send you the files and shit. It takes forever. All right? You have to wait for it to show up. Then when it shows up, guess what happens? It's just a browser link, and you can only open it in a browser, so you have no evidence. I wouldn't be able to show you the evidence. So I then had to find a way to convert all of the files over to PDF files. Funny that they're PDF files with these guys. So that I could actually publicly put those on the internet. All right? So now is the time, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Here you go. The 2 files. You can watch them or read them for yourselves. All right? This one is the PPP. Oh, I'm not on the right screen. Well, that's a genius level fuck up right there. This is the PPP file. You can see all of the text between him and me right there, transparent. I have nothing to hide. I've told you all the shit that I told him that was private was half truths or no truths, complete bullshit. All right. And here are the Warski conversations right there. You can check those out. They are publicly available for you to check out right now. They are not edited. They are 100% unedited. You can read them in their entirety. No problem. All right. To show that I'm not hiding anything. I have nothing to hide here at all. All right. And to end in the culmination of all of this, all right, I have one final thing to say. Ladies and gentlemen, as of this morning, I'm a verified member over on Kick. It took a long time, but I finally got verified. So now I get all the benefits of being a verified streamer on Kick. So it all comes full circle. All right, it does. It all comes full circle. Where these guys, their first intention was 100% to use me. All they ever wanted to do was milk me for content, and I knew that. I cased them going in. I saw their stream. I saw PPP ringing the fucking dinner bell. I saw Worski playing the fucking air flute kazoo, acting like they were mentally challenged, basically being the Pied Pipers to those who for some reason like this really fucking bizarre content of screeching at the top of your lungs or talking with a lisp. I just don't understand it. I don't like it. I outright said many times I couldn't really watch their content because if I did, it actually bothered me. Like I get a headache and like I couldn't stand it. I didn't want to be a part of their content, but I saw this was my opportunity to get in with someone who had some popularity on the internet and finally, for once, set myself up to get some positive attention. Isn't it funny that when I did, everyone seemed to realize that I'm not as bad as everyone said? Isn't it funny that once finally the actual truthful light was shed on me, everyone's like, he ain't that bad. His content's pretty good. He's a chill guy. This is pretty fun, right? And I'm happy. I'm happy where I am doing what I'm doing. I'm happy doing non-drama content, doing gameplay, chill podcasts with my audience, having fun every day, doing different stuff. Smart guys doing it solo is working right now. All of that, okay? I love it. I'm not going to change because these guys think they did me a solid by doing the idea I fucking came up with and made possible that made us money, right? Then they couldn't do anything else for me after the fact because all their ideas were awful. They had no clout to make anything happen. Then they're upset that I won't completely change who I am as a person and a creator to personally benefit them. And then at the end, when they say it's okay to leave, and I try to leave, it's like a jilted lover. It's like, oh my God, how dare you break up? Now you're an F, you're this, we're gonna do tons of content, we're gonna do this. It's like, you're out of your minds. You're fucking insane losers. They always were. I knew that from the fucking start. This is them. This is fucking them. Is this what you want to aspire to be someday? Yeah, they might have a lot of money because idiots throw them money every fucking day. Is this what you want to look like? Is this your idol? Is this who you aspire to be? These two guys right here? This could have been me standing next to fucking Ashton at the Hogan bar if I went. Why do you think I didn't want to go? This is not my future, all right? These guys might have all the money in the world, but good fucking God, I don't want to be like them. I am me. I am happy. I'm happily married. I have a great audience that I love, all right? I am never, ever going to waste time on this kind of shit. No one's going to tell me what to do. No one's going to tell me to change. No one's going to hold me over the coals. These guys have absolutely fucking nothing on me at all. Zero. All the shit that they think they have is fake. It's bullshit. It's half-truths. It's no truths. They got fucked. Ladies and gentlemen, I king-snaked the fucking casino. They came into my parlor. They fell for the fucking trap. And I ate them the fuck up for breakfast. I reaped the rewards. And now they're going to come out and be like, we got all this shit. You don't have shit. You have nothing. Zero on me. Now, in the months ahead, you know that these guys are going to pretend like they do. They're going to be like, we got you. They don't have nothing. All right? What you've seen in those logs that I just put out there are the only interaction I ever had with those fucking guys. Period. They have nothing. All right? If they come out and be like, well, we got this flaming gun, we got this smoking piece of evidence. No, they don't. Because if there was evidence out there of anything that they were probably going to make up, June the King would have had it in his documentary, and my detractors would have already had it. There is nothing else out there, all right? There's no secrets of the past. I abused women, and I did this and that. None of it exists. Unlike all these other creators where all this shit constantly gets publicly exposed over the years, I don't have skeletons in the closet. My skeletons have been exposed over the years over and over and over. So these fucking guys can talk about me as much as they want. I can't stop them, okay? But I can be past that, all right? So I'm done with it. I'm past it. I have nothing to do with them. I am now washing my hands of them, all right? The king snaked the casino. I got what I wanted. I got the temporary boost. It helped me. I got verified on Kick, All right? They can go crazy just proving how awful people they are, because that's what was happening to begin with. They were awful people. They always intended to be awful to me. They always were going to snake me. That was always the plan, is that in the end, they were going to turn on me. Why do you think they always had the little snide remark here, the joke here, the over-the-top glazing? That's what it was. No one got fooled except them, because they actually thought that I was buying into that shit when I never was. So that's that. Now, let it be known, all right? I want nothing to do with any of these drama motherfuckers at all. I just want to be left the fuck alone, all right? That's it. So next time that you have an idea in your head that you're going to try to get me, we're going to team up and snake it, think twice. Because I'm the fucking king of fucking snakes. You get it? You think that the king moniker is a joke? Well, it is. But at the same time, man, it's kind of funny how I can own it, use it, and then I get those fuckers. You're not going to be able to snake me because I'm never going to give you enough to snake. You'd have to be a moron, all right? So I'm done with this shit, 100%, and that's where I'm going to leave it, all right? Sad Review Tech couldn't be here because I actually wanted to do a whole big shtick where we were taking the chips away from the casino, and then eventually I was going to, like, maybe at the end, if he went along with it, I was going to maybe say, hey, we're cool, and give him his chip back. But, you know, he wanted to talk about my microphone. He thought that that was funny. You want to talk about ruining an event, right? Like, holy shit, how can you ruin an event any possibly worse than that? So, that is it for the Level 666 podcast of how DSP robbed Kino Casino. I'm now done with this shit. I'm not going to speak on it again. Again, if you hear any nonsense from those guys saying anything about me, they have nothing additional. I already gave you anything that they had on me. Anything else they say is completely fabricated and made up. There are nothing else out there. It's all bullshit. I'm moving on with my life. I got rid of the toxic girlfriend who was treating me bad. And I don't care how many times she texts and calls and tells the relatives and friends and everyone on the internet that, you know, I'm a bad person because of this and this, or here's his personal business. It's not going to affect me. All right? I'm going to move forward like always, making content, having fun with my audience. I'm sorry that we even had to do this today because, again, I was just looking to leave and walk away. But instead, I had to do this because they escalated it and got it to the point where it was. So now they have nothing to work with. It's all burned. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked the show. It's time to move on and get back to business. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.